Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be talking about my book series. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about it anymore until the 2 campaigns took off and people bought the 5 t-shirts or 5 hoodies, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to talk about my book series despite that factor, because why not? So, first order of business is people want to know where I got the idea for my book series from. Where did it come from? You know, what was my inspiration? Honestly, the simplest answer I can give is life. Life experiences, life triumphs, challenges I faced. Because I started writing this book series when I was in the 3rd grade. And I know what you're thinking. What, why, how, things like that. I started writing different parts at different times in my life. When I was starting to get bullied at the, I started getting bullied when I was in preschool. But it got really bad once I entered 1st grade. And it wasn't just students. I was bullied by teachers. I was underestimated, undermined by teachers, undermined by adults. Because a lot of times when you're young, people like to invalidate you because they think when you're a child or a kid or a teenager, you don't know anything, or you haven't experienced life yet, so you really don't know what life's about. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not smart. You're not good enough. You know, all those different things. All these variables that are inflicted in our heads as such young people, and even as adults, but it's a lot of times starts when you're young. So we were given an assignment when I was in about, I want to say 1st or 2nd grade. I can't remember which. But our teacher wanted us to write about what we were feeling. And so I started writing my emotions out. And I decided after I read, I thought, this is really cool. I really like this. Then I took it with me into 2nd grade. And I added on to it because we were given an assignment about writing about something that was going on in our lives at that current moment. Then 3rd grade rolled around and we had to start writing an assignment about something we were passionate about, something was our drive in life. And I know it sounds kind of young for a 3rd grader to know how to do or talk about, but trust me, I had already a lot to say. So, you know, I kept adding on to it. And what was nice is when I was in school, the file that we had from 1st grade to senior of high school was all under the same file because your ID never changed. Your files went with you with your school ID. So no matter what grade you were in, your files stayed with you. So if, say, you went to 4th grade, you could pull up your 4th grade files when you were a junior in high school. Example. So I started adding more and more onto it. So then finally, my freshman year of high school, I emailed myself half of what I'd written. And then I kept writing everything and all these different assignments. And I decided to merge it all together. And I took it with me to college because I was given an assignment when I was in college that was called the Show and Tell Project. And I know what you're thinking. Show and tell, like in elementary school when you bring something special. This was different. This was a don't show, but tell. And what that basically meant was we had to write about something at the current moment. You basically had to write this assignment where you didn't know the character's past, you didn't know the character's future, you just knew the current moment, the current thing that was going on in the character's life. And that's when I started writing a really, really deep, emotional, gut heart-wrenching, peaceful, emotional, heart-filled, deep, passionate piece. And I merged it all together. So then I gave it to my teacher. And my teacher read it and said, "You have gold in your hand. This is beautiful. This writing is deep. And I think you need to do something with it." Keep in mind, I had already failed English once in college because I didn't understand the assignments and the teacher I had was not the most understanding. Wasn't very helpful. But then I had this other English teacher who I instantly clicked with and I instantly loved talking to because he was so compassionate and so raw and so real, and he loved everything to do with writing. and creativity and art and theater and music. Everything I loved, dancing, everything he was passionate about, I was passionate about. We clicked like magnets. So I gave him a piece of my writing, and like I said, he fell in love with it. I wrote this beautiful piece. And for all that don't know, and then those that do know, I will share what this piece is. I can't pull it up or read up off of it, but it's the part where Yuzi is in the meat locker, or she thinks it's a meat locker, and she doesn't know how she got there or why she's there. All she knows is that she has chains on her wrists, she has cuts all over her arms and legs despite her self-harm injuries. She has chains on her legs, locks on her legs that are metal bars that are keeping her pinned down. She has them on her wrists. She's wrapped up in chains and ropes. She's blindfolded. She doesn't know where she is. She just knows it feels like a meat locker, or what a meat locker would feel like, because it is below freezing in there. She knows that she's bleeding from her arms and her legs from the wrist bracelets and the leg bracelets. And it terrifies her. And then she has a flashback. Go back. You think it's a flashback of her and Cass making love. Making this deep, passionate love in the woods. And that's all she thinks about. Because she doesn't know if she's going to survive. She doesn't know if she's going to die in there or survive. Because like I said, it's -0 in there. Yes, -0. Basically to the point where she could freeze. So she's having all these images rush through her mind. And that was one of the first really deep, raw pieces I wrote. Up until that point, I talked about her childhood trauma, her abuse as a teenager, her abuse as a child. And it's very tear-jerking because the thing is, a lot of what I write about with her as a character is personally based. But some of it is altered, and some of it is add-on. I'm not going to say what's personally based, what's added on, things like that, because I feel like if I give out too much information, it's not going to make the book as pulling or tear-jerking or emotionally gripping. But a lot of it is personally based. Some is not, like I said. The thing of it is that when I write her character, I don't just write, when she's talking. If it's something I didn't experience personally that she talks about, I put myself into that situation to be able to put the story together, to create a life, to create an environment so people can relate and understand that they can share their story, tell their experiences, not be afraid to feel silenced about their traumas or their pain or their experiences, or not to be afraid to admit, hey, my family's crazy. Hey, my friends are crazy. Hey, hey, this person I dealt with at a job or wherever was terrible to me. See what I'm saying? It's a philosophy book-like situation, but with a dark, loving, romance, erotic bondage setting as well. Basically, it hits a lot of different situations. And the thing of it is that when Yuzi's growing up, she doesn't get to talk about her problems. Until one day, she does. And when she first opens up about her problems and her stuff that she's going through, she's shut down. She's shunned. She's silenced. Because everyone thinks that she's crazy. People think she's messed up. People think she's crazy, like I said, because nobody wants to hear her story. And she talks about how no matter how loud she screams or cries, nobody hears her. And it's heartbreaking. And a lot of people wonder, where'd that come from? Why did I write that? It went from childhood memories. As a child, I felt silenced a lot of time. I felt ostracized. I felt alienated because I didn't think anybody was ever going to fully understand what I was going through with many things. By the way, shout out to this water company. This is one of the best waters I've ever had. I got this at Ross for $2.19, the original price. was $2.79. The $2.79 is the comparable value. Anyway, back to my book series. So with that being said, I'm going to give you a little more information about my book series. Before Yuzi meets Cass, as some of you do know, she's abused from the time she's 4 years old to the time she's 17. A long time. And she's made out to be crazy because nobody wants to hear her story. Nobody wants to listen to her because they don't think her feelings matter or her problems matter. The only person she can really ever vent to about her problems is her cousin who's terminally ill, who's also her best friend. And it's heartbreaking because she literally has nobody. Her mom's in her own world. Her brothers, her older brother and her little brother, they're both in their own worlds. Her older sister is in her own world. Her dad's in his own world. She doesn't have any family she can really trust or open up to other than her cousin who's terminally ill, like I said. And the thing that's heartbreaking is she struggles with guilt. She feels like if she voices a problem or mentions something bothers her, she's creating problems. She's creating trouble. Which she's not, but in her mind, she feels like she's a burden. Because everybody sits there and vents and vents and vents to her. But in her mind, is there ever going to be somebody in the world that's going to be there for her? Is there anyone ever going to be there to listen to her, hear her cry, listen to her cry, and not run away? Or want to sit there and just listen to her talk? She doesn't believe it. Fast forward, as some of you do know, her family tells her after she gets out of the psych hospital that she's moving to Gold Coast, Illinois from Lake Tahoe, Nevada/California. She's 17 years old. In my book series, as some of you knew, some of you don't know, in my book series, you start high school at the age of 17. The reason that is, I will explain that in another video. So she's nervous about what the outcome is going to be. As some of you know, and some of you don't know, she meets Kashmir, this gorgeous man. Gorgeous. Like I said, I emphasize gorgeous because he's a heartthrob. He's this beautiful man with this mane, long, luxurious mane of hair. A guy like none other to her. A knight in shining armor, scratch that, go for the wolf type deal. He's got a dark secret. Many. But so does she. She is a submissive-ish person. He's a very dominating person. If you catch the drift, good. This is an erotic love story with a dark twist, but also a very emotional journey. And the thing of it is that they connect in a way that most people would die for, because their bond is so strong, despite their triumphs, despite her trauma, despite her pain, despite her trauma, despite his trauma, despite his pain, despite his triumphs. They merge together to help each other for their greater good. They have their faults, they do have their disagreements, they have their bug outs, they drive each other up a wall, but in reality, they make their relationship work. And so, long story short, Yuzi meets Cass, or Kashmir. Kashmir is this, like I said, mysterious guy, somebody you wouldn't see every day. And she's eager to find out everything to do with him. Kashmir is mysterious, like I said. They don't even speak one word to each other when they first meet each other. Will they ever see each other ever again? You may know, you may not know. Wait till you read the novel, and you'll find out. With that being said, I'm going to now talk about 2 of my campaigns. I have started 2 campaigns. One is a hoodie, and one is a t-shirt. And they have quotes on them from the book series, predominantly book 1. Book 1 is going to be amazing when it's done. I'm trying to put it together as we speak. I want to have it done by late September, at latest October. I am doing what I can. I am writing as much as I'm able to, but it's also taking a lot of emotions out of me. because a lot of it is personally based. So, with that being said, I will leave you guys with a goodbye. Check out the links below for my campaign. I will be posting the links as soon as I can get them done. They might be in the comments section, or they'll be in the description below. I have to figure out what to do because I have to figure out how to add them in the description. If they're not in the description, I will comment on the video. Like I said, comment, like, subscribe, talk to your friends about this, promote this book series for me because I'm trying to get it lifted off the ground. Hope you guys have a great night. There will be another video up tomorrow. What I will talk about, I'm trying to figure that out. But I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Something I forgot to mention. The 2 campaigns for the hoodie and the t-shirt only last 2 weeks each, so order your hoodie or your t-shirt or both before the 2-week period ends. There are more than 5 available. I just have to sell at least 5 hoodies or 5 t-shirts to get the campaigns to take off. But that's all left I had to say. Bye guys, see you tomorrow morning for another video.